Hey guys, it's Dr. Sugai. I'm a board certified dermatologist in Seattle, Washington. I do medical, surgical, and cosmetic dermatology. So great to work with Roche-Posay on their new YouTube channel and creating content with other experts. So please browse through their YouTube channel, find more myth busts and even a day in the life with me, a dermatologist, in the office, my life outside the office. So really fun working with Roche-Posay. They really emphasize the science behind their products, the why. Why do we recommend these products to our patients? They love working with dermatologists. And today's video is very special on their YouTube channel, which I want you all to please, again, check out because it's gonna be full of good science-backed content to help dilute the misinformation out there online. And today we're gonna be going against AI, artificial intelligence. The future does involve quite a bit of AI that's advancing very quickly. And the question is, will AI replace dermatologists or even doctors in general one day? To become a dermatologist in the US, when you graduate from high school at around age 17, 18 years of age, you go to university or college for 4 years of undergraduate studies, and then you apply to medical school and try to get in. If you get in, it's 4 years of medical school, and then dermatology is an additional 4 years after medical school of residency training. And so I had to go through pretty much 24 years of training of my life to become a dermatologist. And can AI replace a specialist or just physicians in general? And being a skin specialist, we talk about everything from hair, skin, and nails. And the skin, as you guys know, is the body's largest organ, and so it's dynamic. It is quite fascinating on how smart our bodies are. And we can turn over cells. We have diminishing supplies of hyaluronic acid or decreases in collagen production and increased activity of collagen-eating enzymes. And we also are exposed to UV radiation. And for me as a dermatologist, I don't want you out intentionally tanning, but I want you to go out and have a good time. And I want you to be active outdoors and enjoy the outdoors. So there are subtleties to our recommendations. It's not plain black or white. And I feel like AI right now, because they're going off of big data, sometimes it can come off as a little too blanket statement-like or just a little too black and white. And there's a lot of subtleties to dermatology, which is truly an art form. Now let's jump into it. And I have my friend here and let's go through some prompts and see what AI has to say. So let's jump into it. All right, the first prompt AI, how to get rid of acne scars. What do you have to say? All right, AI says this, but let's be real, scar treatment isn't a one-size-fits-all solution. So let's dive deeper into how we can work on scarring. There are different types of scars, right? There's boxcar scars, rolling scars, ice pick scars. You have different types of scarring, there are different approaches. And also, is there dyspigmentation, meaning are these scars hypopigmented or even the dreaded hyperpigmentation, which I see in my patients who are skin of color. And acne can also leave a red spot. So it depends on the type of acne scar. I do like things that will increase cell turnover. Roche-Posay makes nice Effaclar products, whether it's the serum with salicylic acid to help with cell turnover, their Effaclar Duo, or even their Effaclar Adapalene 0.1% gel in the US. It's over the counter. And I really like retinoids for acne scarring because it does help with cell turnover and it just increases collagen production and brings in new skin. For acne scarring, I think it's always about making sure that acne is no longer happening and we have that under control. And then after that's under control, you can focus on scarring. Sunscreen is foundation because you don't want to have sunlight, UV radiation causing the scars to become hyperpigmented or even cause red scars. And so sunscreen is the foundation. Then adding on things like salicylic acid or to help with the blemishes after the acne marks, or a retinoid like Adapalene from Roche-Posay. And then for the really stubborn types of acne, which AI probably can't touch on just yet, but there are ice pick scars that you can get from acne that is very tough to treat. And unfortunately, there are only, people will use chemical peels that are very strong in the ice pick scars, or even devices like radiofrequency microneedling or ablative lasers to help with the ice pick scars. Pigmentation, we might be able to work on it, but it's a long road when it comes to acne scars, especially with pigmentation. All right, pretty good start there. So let's go to the next one. Does retinol help with acne? All right, what does AI have to say about this? Okay. All right. AI is definitely learning, but pretty good, pretty good. What a dermatologist would say for this is that retinol is a great ingredient. Most dermatologists, I'd say, are on some sort of retinoid. Retinoid is the umbrella term, and retinoids encompass a vitamin A family, and it can be oral retinoids that we can prescribe, or topical retinoids that you can find as retinol, NOL, retinol, NYL, retinal, and AL, or something prescription like retinoic acid in clinic with your dermatologist. And there are other synthetic retinoids out there like adapalene and a few others as well. Retinol will go into the cell and bind to nuclear receptors, and they all have different binding affinities for these nuclear receptors that can lead to increased collagen production and also helping with hyperpigmentation through increased cell turnover. Now, retinol, I'd say it can help with acne, it can help prevent acne, it can help treat acne, but is retinol a perfect treatment for acne? No. And there are different retinoids like we talked about with different affinities to different nuclear receptors. So I prefer other retinoids besides retinol for acne specifically. Retinol, I'd say, has a lot of data behind it in working on your pores, but especially working on fine lines and wrinkles through collagen production. So I'd say for retinol, probably better for the anti-aging purposes, and see your dermatologist to talk about other retinoids specifically for acne and breaking up those clogged up pores that are causing whiteheads and blackheads, and prevention of acne with other retinoids. Next, okay, moving on. Does sunscreen help with hyperpigmentation? Let's see what AI has to say. All right, AI. My response, yes, sunscreen does help with hyperpigmentation. I worry about hyperpigmentation after any kind of inflammation on the face, whether it's acne, a rash from eczema or psoriasis. And we really have to protect our skin from UVA. UVA is what tanning salons will use in certain countries where they still allow tanning salons, but they use UVA for tanning. That will increase melanin production. And we want to halt that as much as possible by blocking and filtering out UVA from causing the activation of melanin production. So how do we do that? We use sunscreen that's broad spectrum. We'll block not only UVB. When we look at sun protection factor, we're looking at UVB, but we also want to have a good UVA coverage. We want ingredients in the sunscreen that will cover UVA in different wavelengths. I like La Roche-Posay's UV Immune 400, covers even long wave UVA, which is so important when it comes to hyperpigmentation in my patients who are skin of color. I wish we had that in the United States, and I've always, I love the texture of that sunscreen, and great if you have post-acne blemishes, post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation, you want to filter out that UVA as much as possible. All right, going on. How to avoid sunburn. Perfect. Dr. SPF would love to talk about avoiding sunburn, but let's see what AI has to say. Yeah, we just have to agree that sunburn is from UVB. UVB is quite a troublemaker here. Yeah, AI is not wrong, but let me add this. Sunscreen isn't just a good idea, it's the only idea, right? When it comes to preventing that UV burn, UVB damage to your skin. UVA, we talked about, causes a lot of the tanning we see after a burn or after sun exposure. But UVB, that troublemaker, that's a different wavelength from UVA. That range of UV radiation, UVB, we call UV bad, really can lead to DNA disruption, leading to skin cancer. And so what you want is a sunscreen that is at least SPF 30 or above. You want to wear protective clothing. You want to avoid the really sunny times of the day, depending on where you are. Avoiding those peak sun hours. Have either UPF material clothing, hat, sunglasses, and your sunscreen, and reapplying every 1 to 2 hours if you're outdoors during that time. Again, Anthelios UV Immune by La Roche-Posay, a great start because it'll cover not only that UVA spectrum we talked about for tanning and hyperpigmentation, but also we want to block the UVB from causing carcinogenesis in our skin. Stress the importance of reapplication, because a lot of my patients say, all right, yeah, you say sunscreen is the answer to it all. Why did I still get a sunburn when I visited your home state of Hawaii? And I always ask, did you reapply? Because a lot of times my patients will apply sunscreen before leaving their hotel. They'll go out, enjoy their day at the beach, but the sunscreen will deactivate, will lose its efficacy. You'll have sweat, you might have water on it. That'll wash away the nice protective layer of sunscreen on your skin, might be just gone in an hour or two. So reapplication is so huge in preventing a sunburn. Next, how many times should I reapply sunscreen? So let's see what AI has for me here. Yeah, so I have to echo that reapplication is very important, and it depends on if you're indoors or outdoors, right? If you apply sunscreen like I do every morning before going into the office without any windows, you don't necessarily need to reapply sunscreen indoors. Unless you're by a window that has a lot of sunlight coming through. Yes, UVA can go through window glass. It's a longer wavelength than UVB and it can penetrate window glass. So you might want to reapply if you're by a window that's, and you're getting exposed to sunlight through that large window glass. If you're in the car, you want to reapply. If you're doing a long road trip, every 2 hours, you should be reapplying your sunscreen. But if you are going to be outside working out, you're sweating, you're going to go jump in the pool or play at the beach, you want to reapply every 1 to 2 hours, and you want to go for a water resistant sunscreen. So you're going to see that on the label, whether water resistant 40 minutes, water resistant 80 minutes, especially in the US, that's what we're looking for. And so you should be reapplying every 40 to 80 minutes depending on what grade you have on your sunscreen label. So that's if you're outdoors for that period of time. So again, there's subtleties to my recommendations here, okay? So just know it depends on your activity, where you are indoors, outdoors, and if it's nighttime, you don't need to reapply your sunscreen. Okay, next. What is the difference between UVA and UVB? Okay, this is a good one too. Let's listen to AI. Yeah, so UVA and UVB, you have both of these coming from the sun. UVC gets filtered out. UVB is a shorter wavelength that doesn't penetrate through window glass like we mentioned earlier, but it does carry high energy states that can really disrupt our skin, cause carcinogenesis or cancer causing processes that will lead to either basal cell carcinoma, squamous cell carcinoma, or the dreaded malignant melanoma, which I diagnosed quite a bit even in Seattle. So UVA also can contribute to that carcinogenesis. And UVA, like we talked about before, really contributes to hyperpigmentation and tanning, and that is a longer wavelength. So even on cloudy days here in Seattle, I do tell my patients that UVA is still coming down, and we're exposed to UVA in the car, by window glass, and when it's a cloudy day, because it will penetrate through those clouds. Just remember, UVA, because the longer wavelength, it penetrates deeper into our skin and can influence collagen, and it can really tell our enzymes in there to wake up and chew up our collagen. And UVB, being a shorter wavelength, it really hits the epidermis, so kind of ruin the party there. It causes DNA mutations. And so UVB, UV burn, UV bad. That's how I remember it in residency. UVA, UV aging. It really causes a crepey, wrinkly, saggy skin and discoloration, like we talked about, hyperpigmentation. So we want to block both as much as possible with, say, the Anthelios, by Roche-Posay's Anthelios line. All great sunscreens I recommend to my patients. All right, now we're moving towards the end here. Thanks for sticking with me. AI, you're doing pretty good, okay? You're doing pretty good. How to treat eczema, dry skin. Now this is very nuanced too. Eczema is such a broad category, and there's so many ways to go at it. So let's hear AI's response. So eczema, I see this every day, or atopic dermatitis. You can say they're interchangeable. Let's talk about eczema, which is an inflammatory condition of the skin that is driven by an impaired skin barrier, dry skin. You're having irritants, allergens penetrating through the skin, causing worsening of your eczema potentially. And wind, cold weather really doesn't help either. And you can see flares of your eczema during this time of the year in the winter time. So I'd say your biggest foundation is always a good moisturizer. And the best moisturizer is the one that you're willing to use every day, 1 to 2 times a day, especially after your showers when your skin's a bit damp. And you want to seal in all that moisture you got from your shower and seal it into your skin with a nice occlusive emollient moisturizer. I love the La Roche-Posay Lipicar Balm AP plus M. Great moisturizer for the body. And for my patients with eczema, I love that there's science behind the why. Why do we recommend this moisturizer that does work on the microbiome? Because we find that there are, like we said, irritants. There's microbes that can really go into our impaired skin barrier and really ruin the party there and cause inflammation. And we can have a super infection of bacteria going in and making it more complicated how we treat eczema. Because right now we have topicals that bring down the inflammation. We can do antimicrobial medication in addition if we feel that there has been microbes involved that are flaring your eczema. And sometimes if you just do anti-inflammatory topicals, it won't get better because there's some bacteria involved. So you want a good moisturizer that will help rebalance that microbiome on your skin while repairing the skin barrier. And that's what I love about Lipicar Balm AP plus M. Plus, La Roche-Posay has made a study that showed that by having that as a supplemental moisturizer to the things I'll prescribe that are systemic medications, whether it's a JAK inhibitor or a biologic that you would inject into the skin subcutaneously, the Lipicar Balm can help patients recover and find relief much faster in terms of quality of life improvement, decrease in itch scores. And that's huge because itch can be so debilitating for my patients. It can ruin sleep. And if you are not sleeping well, my pediatric patients, I worry about development, growth, how they're doing in school, mental health. And even same for adults, mental health can definitely be severely impacted when you have high itch scores, you're not sleeping well, increases stress in your social lives, your life at work. And so your performance at work can be impaired severely, and that will just increase stress, and then you have more stress hormones circulating throughout and worsening your eczema. So it all comes down to a good moisturizer and working with your dermatologist and how to bring down the inflammation depending on how severe the eczema is. So it's a very complex topic and I'd say complicated answer that will require a lot of counseling with your dermatologist to get it down right, depending on how severe and advanced your eczema is, okay? So, all right guys, well I hope this video was helpful. I had a great time with La Roche-Posay collaborating on these YouTube videos. Please go through their channel and check out the other videos from experts, and really debunking myths I think is the biggest, most important things we can bring online. Just being able to reach friends out there like yourselves outside of my clinic, this is really important just to have good information that's backed by science, backed by years of clinical experience. I've been practicing for nearly a decade after graduating from residency. So it's great to be here, and please check out the other videos. Please hit the like button, please subscribe to the channel, and share with your friends who are into skincare or have questions about sunscreen and dry skin and also acne and post-acne blemishes. So take care and peace.